can't believe I'm listening.
So like, my cousin like helps get me out. The guy like helps get me to the other side. So I had but my clothes were soaked. So like I had to ride we had like a 2.5 hour drive home. I'm sitting there in only my underwear, pissed, don't have my car, nicotine buzz from hell.
So you had to leave your car there?
Yeah, for like 3 days until it went down. Dude called me when it went down and like I had to go out there and get it. But straight flash flooded, like at a client's house, 2.5 hours away. That was one.
We're live. Conor doesn't believe in COVID. I'm just kidding. I'm really kidding.
Off with that.
Yeah, that's horrible. Anybody that's been negatively affected though by COVID, my condolences. Anybody that you've known that has passed away or really experienced some negative things with COVID, please forgive me, and forgive Conor for not believing in it, and forgive Mike Russin because he will alpha you.
Oh
I love him, dude. I love his story. Like, is my boosted test every day.
Yeah.
When I get a testosterone
There's
boost,
nothing like waking up and looking at Rustin's story.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just an axe at 4 a.m. and he's chopping away at the day.
Chopping liver.
The man, bro. He's a man. So real quick, Conor Markins is on Adversity Kings today. Let's go,
Let's
dude.
go.
So how you been?
Good. Busy.
Busy?
On the move, yep.
So you're down in Memphis.
Yep.
Tennessee.
As Key James and Steve would say. Yep. Tennessee.
Tennessee, baby.
That's right.
That's great. So let's tell a little bit about you as we kind of dive into this. You know, a majority of my podcast episodes have been with individuals within the company, but I like it to be kind of laid back. You've listened to some episodes, you know, it's kind of nonchalant, but I kind of, you know, pull out your story and just get some opinions and facts and success tips and just kind of pull life out of you from your perspective and share it with the world for whoever wants to hear it. You know, in our case, sometimes it's just our moms
Let's do it.
that listen in, but
Let's
fuck
do
it.
it.
You know, the metrics don't look bad.
Man.
Aiden, those metrics you sent me don't look bad. Like 400 something viewers over, and we've only been launched in a month.
That's brand
and we
new.
got 4 countries.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Cool. I don't know. It's cool.
It's gonna blow up.
Where'd you grow up?
Ironton, Ohio.
Southern
Ohio is right on the river. Tri-state area with Ohio, Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. So
How'd your parents meet?
High school. They went to high school together.
High school sweethearts?
In the later end of it, yeah. Honestly, it's terrible. I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure they got together when I believe my dad was in college and my mom my dad was a freshman in college and my mom was a senior, maybe something like that. I think that's when they started talking. I think they were like high school sweethearts or whatever, but I don't think they were together in high school.
So you never got the lowdown of the story on like how they kind of came together?
Not completely. They may have told me.
How long were they?
I may not have been paying
they weren't together,
much
right?
attention. I don't know. Yeah, they were married. They were married till I was probably 5.
5?
If I had to.
Yeah, that's kind of how my situation was.
But I'm blessed with great parents. You know what I'm saying? Like that never really, you know, as far as them being divorced, like I never really saw it as an issue. You know, obviously when I was with one of them, I would miss the other, but
yeah,
you know, it was never really
extra
like
gifts.
Yeah, you could say that. But you know, yeah, I think they probably split when I was like 5.
5?
Yeah.
So now, do you remember like picking like who you lived with or like?
It was kind of just put into put into a routine effect.
Rotations.
My mom, when I was growing up, she taught first grade at the elementary that I went to. So I would like when I was young, I would stay with her on the weekdays, my dad on the weekends. And then when I was roughly around 10 or 11, my mom moved to an outer skirt, right outside of Detroit. So I would go spend some time during the summers up there. And then during like the school year and stuff, you know, I lived in Southern Ohio with my dad.
Yeah.
So, you know, growing up. So,
yeah.
You know, that was pretty much.
What did your parents do?
Mom, teacher. Mom still is a teacher.
Okay.
Mom, she teaches special education at a elementary school. And
that takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm, especially during what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With the COVID stuff, just all the virtual stuff. And then my dad was a pension consultant. He built his own business actually. Like him and a couple of his partners started a business. Believe it was in like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s.
What do they do?
handled group pensions, like group
Okay.
401k.
Ah,
It's like employer 401k.
so he probably had a lot of recommendations as you started this business.
Kinda, he was more on like the he wasn't much like into sales. He was on more of like retainment, I believe. Like honestly, my dad didn't really talk about his work a whole lot. Like when he was with me, he was kind of the type that like he put the work down at home and never really stressed about it outside of that.
Yeah.
So we never really talked about his work a whole lot for real. But I know that he did. Him and his partners built the business from scratch. They've had it's been over a 20-year run doing that financial services. But I wouldn't necessarily say that he wasn't in like the investment side of it, if that makes sense. He was more just in, I believe, like the customer acquisition as far as like building the relationships, maintaining those clients, stuff like that. Taxes, like end of the year.
Do you remember like clicking
and stuff
with one of them more than the other at an age, or was it pretty balanced?
I mean, I've always loved both my parents. If I had, and this is, no hidden secret, I'm definitely, I'm a daddy's boy in a way, just because, like my dad just had a unique vibe to him that is super rare with the parent, I feel like, especially, especially like in today's world. I feel like there's so much stuff that's just like put off on technology, like so much parenting just put off on technology, and just so many different things like that. Like, my dad was just always taking me, because I was like a sports junkie always, and so was my dad. So that naturally connected us in a way. And then my dad was also super on point with himself, took care of himself, great health. So he was super energetic. So we were just always on the move. Yeah. Which I think naturally for any young male is going to probably bring favor in a relationship. You know what I mean? So it ain't like I loved my dad more than my mom. It was just like there was,
easier connection.
Yeah. And it, like I still, me and my mom have a great relationship, but just, I was my dad's son for sure. As far as like, just if you had to say a mama's boy or daddy's boy, and that's, I don't feel like that's an unknown fact. I feel like anybody that knows me knows how mine and my dad's relationship was, so.
What was growing up for you like then?
Busy for real. I always from, really like 4 or 5 on, because like even when I was younger, I have an older sister that's 9 years older than me. Yeah. So she was a good athlete and stuff growing up. So like I was just always either at their practice, like when I was growing up, when my sister had practice and stuff, my dad would bring like a little Tykes basketball hoop for me on the beat on the side. So I was just always on the move, always busy. So like I wasn't really ever home much, growing up. I was always, whether playing a sport or at my friend's house or just, just on the move. I feel like, and kind of just live like the lifestyle like that. Always, it's always been like that with me. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, just busy, good family, good friends, small town, like where I'm from, it's a more like rural tri-state area. It's got some like, city population, but it's a more like you would call it's like Appalachia, so it's different, than where I'm at now, living in a big city. So, growing up in a small town, I feel like that brings positives and negatives. You just got to learn to.
What was your biggest sport growing up?
Growing up, baseball, man.
You weren't any good.
Dog. I was a killer.
Just trash. I'm looking at you now.
You're crazy, dog. You better ask. Come on now. Baseball, definitely baseball.
You were that kid,
up.
dog. Nah, you were that kid. What's that movie? Was it The Comebacks where that old Mexican comes over with the green crown on the paper? I'm 12.
Oh, shut up, dog.
That's him, dude. He was like 17 playing against
the from the Sandlot.
8-year-old.
The stud from the Sandlot.
The fat kid?
Nah, the stud. Like the one that looked like little Alex Rodriguez.
Fat ass just in there.
Nah, you talk. What was his name? They called him a.
Hey Smalls, you killing me, Smalls.
Is that
Nah, his name wasn't Smalls. Let's look it up.
Yeah, that's funny though. That was a classic growing up. But yeah, baseball was definitely my favorite sport. My best sport, honestly, it was probably always my best sport. When I was in like my 7th grade summer. Yeah, my 7th grade summer, I played like.
I'm looking up the cast.
I was playing travel ball, and we played like 85 games in a summer or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I swear to God, I just got completely burnt out on it. Just double headers, sitting in the sun, like no movement really. You're just sitting out there waiting for something to happen in the game. So I just naturally kind of grew tired of that, and then gravitated more towards basketball. And then I ended up.
That kid's name was Hamilton. Ham.
I knew it was something like that. I thought I was about to say Chubbs.
He looks He looks the same as an adult.
Hell yeah, he does.
Patrick Renna looks the same, Aiden. If you look this kid up, I mean, he looks the freaking same. It looks like he just had a baby, and the baby looks just like him in the set. No, I'm just playing.
They're gonna bring out the same lot too.
So baseball was your number one sport.
Yeah.
But
basketball
came in when? Because you suck
played.
at that too.
Shut up. I always played, like I always played. It's just, basketball is a more athletic sport, and I wasn't really that athletic growing up. Baseball is more of a sport. It's like hand-eye coordination. Shut up. It's more hand-eye coordination, skill set type thing. So when I was younger and a little bit more baby fattish and not as fast, that was kind of the sport I gravitated towards. And then as I got older, hit some growth spurts, kind of thinned out, started liking, more on the move sports. It just gravitated towards basketball. And I had a coach in my childhood, AAU coach, Brian Courts. He's like one of my all-time favorite people, huge influence on me.
Yeah.
Gave me a lot of tough love that I needed. He's kind of the one that really made me, fall in love with the game of basketball, just in like the work ethic part of it. Because like baseball, it's hard to get 18 people together and go play pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can't like go throw, batting practice to yourself.
Yeah.
And ain't no kid got a pitching machine.
Yeah.
So the aspect of basketball to where you can just always work on your craft. It could just be you. You ain't need nobody else to practice. And just like, I feel like the culture around the game, I just feel like it's a cooler sport. So, I mean, that's just kind of what gravitated me towards that. And then it led me to take that more serious when I got older. Probably picked the wrong sport, honestly, because I feel like I definitely had a way higher ceiling with baseball. But I just didn't enjoy it. I still played in high school because my dad wanted me to. And he loved to sit there and eat peanuts and keep the book and watch me, play. But I didn't take it serious. I was running track and baseball at the same time, like my junior and senior year. Like the fields were right next to each other. So like we always had baseball games and track meets on the same night. And like my coaches would like be texting me during the day. Like my baseball coach, high school baseball coach, and my high school track coach would be like texting me during the day, asking me which one I'm gonna do like that night. And like I could never pick between the two because I liked both of them. So I would like go play 2 innings baseball, and I'd have my track spandex on under my baseball uniform, and I would hear the first call from my relay, and I would run from the baseball field over to the track, run the relay, come back, put, like me and 2 other our players did this, put my baseball uniform on, play like another inning, hear my track event, thing get called over the intercom, go over there and run, and did that my whole junior and senior year. So
damn.
Yeah.
A little bit of a grind.
Oh, it was a grind for sure. But I never went to baseball practice in high school because I was trying to play next level basketball, and I knew where I needed to take steps was with athleticism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because the cats at the next level are just so athletic,
Yeah.
And I knew that was where I needed to grow. So track brought me a lot of like growth in that aspect, maybe more athletic, quicker, slimmer. Baseball practice, I just couldn't really get into it. So I didn't really want to waste time with it, but I still played. 1, I liked to play with my friends. And then 2, like I said, my dad wanted me to play. So
what are some of the best memories you had growing up?
Really, the ones that mean the most now are, spending time with people who are no longer here.
Yeah.
Whether it be friends, my dad, family members, those are obviously probably the sweetest, but,
is there any in particular that just like you like, they
like
hit
favorite
you
childhood memory?
Pretty frequently, just something that hits you.
Yeah. I always have, flashbacks. So when my mom and dad have first separated, my dad, got this, we rented it, but it was this house in Ironton on Neal Avenue. It's a little white house. It's like double as long as it is wide. Like when you see it from the street, it's like as wide as a garage door, but it goes back a pretty decent bit. So like me and my dad, when I was growing up, we had a Nerf hoop on the doorway at the end of each house. So like we would have these like nightly one-on-one games and like full court, fouling each other, like dripping sweat, like every night for like 3 or 4 years. So like I think about that all the time. That's a super good memory. I mean, that's probably one that I think about
like
all the time.
one.
All the time.
Yeah.
So because every time I go back home, I drive by the house, I get out, I walk around. The landlord that owns it is a family friend. He knows who I am. He knows I'm not up to no good. So I just get out and go snoop around, and it just is like nostalgic. It's like I can still smell the same like candles that used to be burning in the house. I can still like just vividly remember all of that. So that's like one memory, if I had to say one, that I think about all the time.
What are some of the toughest adversities you had to face growing up?
Obviously, just, having split parents, missing them, having one parent here, one parent there is one thing. That had its challenges. And then, also, I'll be honest with you though, man, I as far as like challenges, like looking back at them, there are some, but like at the time, dude, I was just a happy kid. Like, I never really was like sitting, like, I was always just, happy. Really. I feel super blessed to have had to, just to like have had the childhood I did, obviously looking back at it, like there are some certain things like, that was adversity, that was this and that. But at that time, man, I was just living, like, didn't really even think of it like that.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have a first girlfriend?
I mean, yeah, I've had girlfriends. So I had to have
a
first.
I'm trying to think. The boys.
You gonna make some people mad with that one.
And we're all right with that too.
Yeah. Like you talking like, I had like a girlfriend in like elementary.
So when did you lose your virginity then?
God, Tristan, killing my ass already. 15.
Damn, dude, you were old.
Oh my God.
I was 6.
Shut the fuck up. Wild now.
Nah, dude, I'm playing. But no, that was the same age as you. So was that that wasn't your first girlfriend then? When was like your first love? Did you have a love? Like I remember my first high school love. I was 16.
I think as you get older, you kind of like change
perceive the idea of
the
like
perception of love.
Was that love?
Yeah,
or
that's
was
what I'm saying.
Just
like, was you just doing the thing because that's what everybody was doing, or you felt
just
like within the past 5 years, I would say for that of legit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in high school, like I had a girl and like, it's nothing.
Did you have that crazy feeling though that you were like, damn, I'm in love? You know what I mean?
At the time, yeah.
Where like she stopped texting you and you like cry for a day.
Yeah, I think
that was for sure you.
In high.
I'm just saying because that was
like
me.
I said, you have those feelings at that time, but like I said, the difference between an 18 and 20 or 16, 17, 18 and 26-year-old man is huge. Like a man does a lot of growing in that time.
Nah.
Yeah. A lot.
Maybe physically, but
no.
Mentally, we're still 9, dog.
In a way, yeah. In a way, for sure. But looking back at it, like it was just it's one of them typical, high school relationships. Like I don't regret it. I don't like miss it. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like
you don't miss Hannah?
Your name wasn't Hannah. Good guess.
Dang, he would have been wide-eyed if that was it.
If you would have guessed,
like, damn, dude,
you did some research before I pulled up.
Hell yeah. So as you are transitioning out of high school into college, what was that? Were there any decisions, that you were making going into college? Like, were you looking into sports, education?
I had to play, like if I wanted to get school paid for, I had to play a sport.
Okay.
Because my ACT score was not good.
Yep.
I took it 5 times.
Yep. And I think I failed my SAT.
You can fail to qualify, which is what I did. I had like 2 16s, a 17, and 2 18s. So, none of those were getting me any academic aid.
Yeah, they just gave me a muffin and told me to leave.
Yeah, I wish they would have did that. It would have been better than just get my score. But, so I was like, I couldn't, grade-wise, I wasn't like stupid at all. I just, I felt like that didn't evaluate anything I'm smart at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all of my skill set is not able to be evaluated in that kind of test. And I knew that. And I'll be honest with you too, I didn't practice for it and I didn't try.
Yeah, me either.
So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and beat around the bush and be like, oh, it just wasn't meant for me. Like I didn't try just because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't want to. I knew it applied nothing to me. I wasn't about to waste my time with it.
Yep.
So I knew I wanted to play sports, but the goal behind sports the whole time was like never like really to like try to be a pro or anything. It was just to get my school paid for, which I managed to get majority of it paid for.
Yeah.
So that was like the goal. And I ended up my freshman year, I went to a school in Wheeling, West Virginia at the time, it was called Wheeling Jesuit University.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Wheeling now.
Why'd you make University. That
decision? They were a really, really good program. And
for what?
For basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah, they were like really, really good.
Yep.
And like one of my incoming freshmen that I came in with is actually He's playing for like Team USA right now in the qualifying events. Haywood Highsmith, he's a dog. And he's on a 2-way contract with the 76ers, I believe.
Damn.
So like we had some real talent, you know?
Yeah.
But I got hurt up there. You know, about 7 weeks into school, fractured my tibial tuberosity, which is like the jumper's knee. You know, like you ever heard of jumper's knee where you get those knots? Like in your...
I probably have them.
Yeah, so I cracked it. And I ended up taking a medical red shirt my freshman year. And just where I was at, I was like 5 hours away from home.
And that was for missing jumpers?
Shut up. That didn't happen. But I get hurt. I'm like 5 hours away from home. Freshmen weren't able to have cars at this school because it wasn't a very big school. So freshmen couldn't have cars. So I'm like hurt, 5 hours from home, broke, you know, can't have a car. And I'm miserable, you know?
Yeah.
And I just really like was unhappy and I wanted to kind of just, you know, restart. And, you know, I started sending my tape out to a couple different schools. Shawnee State University was actually one that was like really close to where I was from, like 35, 40 minutes. So they emailed me back. I was able to get, you know, a roster spot there, no scholarship at first. So I go my freshman year, redshirt freshman year there. And, you know, I had a pretty solid season for a freshman. You know, I played, I think it was like 15, 16 minutes a game, shot high percentage from three. I was playing on like a senior-oriented team. So it was like kind of harder to get playing time, but it was also real good for me because like, you know, I had like one job. I wasn't asked to do a whole lot. Like I got in to shoot the ball and that they wanted me to shoot the ball. So they were, it was like a really good incoming team to come into. And freshman year, I had a solid freshman year. And then sophomore year, going into my sophomore year, I had a little mishap on my side, just off the court. And then I started just dealing with consistent ankle injuries for the next 3 years, really. Like I'd get in crazy good shape, get my skill set back completely on point, get back in practice, you know, full go, doing great. Boom, step on like someone's foot, completely rip my ankle apart again. And I just dealt with this. It was like an ongoing process for literally like 2.5, 3 years. And it just became like mentally grueling, really, you know. I was able to get back in action like several different times and have bits and pieces of success, but then boom, it would just like keep happening. So really, you know, that, and then, you know, but it wasn't like a waste at all.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm super thankful for my college journey because like, you know, playing a sport in college, like you really find out if you're about your work ethic or not. Like if anybody plays 4 years college sports, you know, they're serious about their work ethic, you know, like, it's a lot of hours, a lot of discipline, physically excruciating at times, like a lot of work. And then that's not counting like the school, anything like that. And then, you know, the relationships I made there too, you know, which I have like certain opinions on college. I don't think college is for everybody, but if you do go, I think that you have to like engulf yourself and make relationships like in the experience or else it was pointless, you know? So like, a lot of my best friends that I have right now, like best friends, like that are super loyal to me, that I'm super loyal to, that I know I could count on, like that. I met in college, you know, and especially like the dude that's on my arm, Sean Elliott, he passed away in 2015. And that was who I lived with my freshman year at Shawnee. And like, probably besides my dad, really male influence wise, probably the biggest I ever had, and I really didn't even know him that long, besides my pops. Like, we just had like a crazy close click, like super similar people, and he had a really unique story too. You know, he was older. He was like 25 or 26, and you know, I'm like 18, 19 at this time. So he's like, you know, like we were just talking about, that difference, and that is huge. Yeah. So he's a grown man and knows a lot of game. Like been through a lot and soaked up a ton. And like, we were the exact same personality type really. And like looked kind of similar, you know what I mean? Both 6'1" white dude on a college team, shooters, you know, played similar. He's a lot better than me, you know what I'm saying? He was our best player, but played similar mindset, liked the same things. We're into the same hobbies. So it was like a really unique connection, but he was also a hard ass on me, like held me really accountable and like always called me out on my shit and gave me a lot of tough love that I needed at that time. Because
what's he do now?
He's passed away.
Who?
This is my boy Sean Elliott on my arm, my tattoo on my arm.
Damn.
Yeah, he passed away in a car accident in 2015. And that rocked my world, bro, for real. Like, because, like I had lost family members and stuff, but, like losing a friend is really hard because one, nobody expected to lose him. You know what I'm saying? It just is kind of like if you have an older family member or something like that that's sick, like, you kind of expect these things. You mentally prepare for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have time to build it up. But, when something like that happens, like I said, we had lived together the whole year prior, but at this point when he died, like I was staying for free on his love seat during the summer, working out, like literally looked like this. He had this white couch and he wasn't charging me no rent because I was there for summer workouts.
Yeah.
And he was like, Connie, like he called me Connie the Kid. That's where like that nickname come from. So he was like, you need to stay on campus. Like this is the only way you're really going to get right. If you want to be about your business, you're going to stay here and work out with me every day. So, and then he kind of got our whole team hit to that in a way. So, it was a blow to our whole team. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just about me, but like me personally, that was like my guy. And I trusted him at that point. I had only known him for like a year and some change. And I trusted him, like I said, more than 99.9% of people because I knew he had my best interest. Because he coached me in a way. Yeah. Like people that have your best interest call you out on your shit. Like people that just enable you to do stupid stuff and, they don't love you. Yeah. So Sean was like that influence that I needed away. Because when you're in college, like, my dad and my mom and like my family always like when I was back. But like in college, you're on your own. You're young. You're open to a lot of new things. There's a lot of different stuff out there. Like you can make bad decisions. So he was really big on like keeping my head on straight. Like if I came home 2 a.m, been out partying or whatever, like he'd wake my ass up at 3 and make me go get shots up and rebound for him. Yeah. Like throwing up in the gym. And he's like, if you're going to do this, you're going to learn that this is what you got to deal with because of it. So when he passed, like that, like, I mean, it just killed me, dude. I remember his funeral like it was yesterday. And it's like, I've never felt like, because I don't like to cry in front of people. I hate it. It's like, it's because I just don't like doing it. You know what I mean? Like if I cry in front of you, I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how, and
I hate when I slam you and you start crying.
Shut the hell up. But so like, and I just remember being at his funeral, bro, just looking at him like, bro, tears literally fell from my face for hours. Like I couldn't even stop. I had no control over my emotions. It was like that for a while for real. And mentally that really hurt me because like I said, like he was just that OG that I had that really gave me game because at a certain age, you don't like to go to your parents with stuff all the time. Yeah. You want to be your own man. You want to figure it out. Like, and he was that like person that really helped me do that and like really pushed me. And like, I still remember all kinds of like one-liners that he would say to me to motivate me and it still like plays in my head, and I think about him every day. That's why I got a tattoo on me, you know what I'm saying? Because like I wanted to reflect on him all the time. I never wanted to forget his legacy. And like not even speak on it, it aggravates me. Yeah. It aggravates me that, people think that by posting this and that like you do it. No, like I keep his name alive because I wanted to stay alive. Yeah. And I feel like it should be like that. I feel like you should talk about people who made a lot of influence. And so like, he was big for me. So like I said, if I didn't go to this college, this and that, like I never meet him. Yeah. So I'm not one of those people that just like, says like, oh, you don't got to go to college, this and that. Like you just come into business. Like if you're going to go to college, make use of those relationships. And I made a lot of relationships in college that like have helped me in business. Like a lot of my people I met in college are either clients or help me get clients or send me referrals or work with me. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. So like college was a really good experience. And then, kind of just transition from there into business. Yeah. But before we transition into business, what was the craziest story you got in college? Oh, man. There's a lot. The craziest, though. Wow. So there's like 3, dude, that I can't even like. It really boils down to 2. One, I got misidentified and jumped by 6 people who thought I was the wrong dude. Yeah. Like right on campus. Yeah. And like 2 minutes in, they realized that it was the wrong person, and like we just kept going. That was crazy. But just the one that I'll probably say is the craziest is when we had this like random, we call them townies back home, like back where in the town that my college was in. Like the college is like its own place in this like little town. Yeah. It's like you got the town and this I mean, I'm not even talking shit, but it's a lot of bad shit that goes on off the campus. Okay. And like, but the campus is its own spot. So like everybody thinks, you're good. Well, me, a couple of my boys like Jalen Carter, Brian Rolfe, these are like some of my best friends. We had went out, Ryan Duncan, went out like to the bars this night. It was like 7 of the men's basketball players, like 7 of the women's basketball players, we all just went out and we're having fun. Well, we go out, we enjoy our time, we come back, and we're all asleep. And this story is way funnier told by my friends that witnessed it from the jump.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was only there for, like, the second part of it. And they, like, when they tell you about my reactions and shit, it's hilarious. But, so, basically, you good?
It's time to get on social media.
So, basically, this guy, after we had gotten home and had been asleep, this guy had made his way into the house. Like this random townie that was from there.
Devin.
And he's covered in blood.
Yep.
Like covered in blood. His shirt's like soaking blood.
Devin.
So we have this like sectional couch in our living room downstairs. And like one of my boys is laying his head here, feet here. One of my boys' head here, feet here. So they're like, and the dude just walks in. And it's funny because like my boys had heard him twist the side door for like 3 minutes, but it was locked. And then all of a sudden they just heard the back door open. And dude just wanders in and like plops down right between the two of them on the couch. And like I said, I didn't see this part. So like, I'm just telling you what they told me. But like my boy said that they like raised up and was like, hey, are you a friend of Conor's? And like, he wasn't answering him. So one of my boys like gets up and comes and wakes me up. And this is where it gets funny. Like he said that like when he woke up, I like panicked. Was like, where's my money? Like, you know, just like panicked and like went downstairs. I walked downstairs and I looked to my right and he's like, or he tells me, he's like, you know, there's a townie downstairs. And I'm thinking like who? And they're like, there's a townie on your couch. So I go down and I look down and this dude, he's got like his arms, like, you know, you can like, if you're cold, you can like put your arms in your shirt and just like sit there. He's like sitting on the couch with his arms like that shivering, but he's asleep and he's like covered in blood. And like, I ain't gonna lie, we had some drinks this night. So stuff was a little funnier than usual.
Yeah.
But dog, I thought it was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. Like I just burst into tears and I'm just like dying because I'm sitting there thinking like, what are the odds of this cat being in our crib right now? And he wasn't like doing no crazy shit, but he was covered in blood. So he had been into something. But I'm literally, bro, I'm just dying. And my boy Jalen's like, Conor, like quit laughing. Like, you gonna get this guy out or am I gonna have to leave? He's like, so like, I don't know. He was a mixture of just like scared, nervous and pissed like all at the same time. So like, we couldn't get dude up. So like, and I didn't want to just like beat the shit out of him or anything because like I said, like for all I know, this dude has, you know, HIV or something. Like I'm not trying to get his blood on me. You know,
Peter told me it's hard to get HIV.
Oh dear God. I hope you don't listen to this. So I'm like, I'm trying to avoid confrontation.
Yeah.
You know, like at all costs. And, you know, like, so I just grab a golf club and like poke him and like steer him out. I'm like, hey, you know where you're at? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, you need to get out of here. So we just like kind of steer him out. And he ended up falling asleep, standing up like right outside our door for like 10 minutes and then just vanished. But like, I'm telling you, it's just what you just had to be there. Like I said, if one of my boys could tell this story for me, because like I said, I only saw the second half of it and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And we got a video of it. Like I'll show you the video later. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's probably the craziest one. There was so much for real. Like college really was an experience. Like,
now, did you graduate before transitioning into business?
No. I was in business a year and a half before I graduated. So that wasn't honestly my choice. I was trying to drop out for real, but my dad wouldn't let me. Like,
okay.
And my dad, my mom, like they were just like, you know, like,
so
you've came this far.
What did that look like transitioning into business? Was that directly with us or?
Yeah, I never had another, like I never, you know.
So how did you hear about us? How did you get into insurance?
Basically, I knew I always wanted to be a businessman, like always. I knew.
Wow, what do you mean you always knew? How'd you know?
I just always knew. I was always.
What sparked you knowing? Your dad?
That and the way my mind worked.
Yeah.
Like I always.
Where did that get inspired from? Movies, music, friends? Where did the seeds get planted from?
A combination of all of those three. And then, I mean, just keeping it real, like you don't see many people who are just like really wealthy that aren't in some kind of business. So that was like what I was looking at.
Yeah.
You know,
you wanted to get rich.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, like, you know.
What made you want to get rich?
Really? One, because I feel like I have to. I feel like if I don't, nobody's going to do it for me or my family.
Yeah.
Like change generations. You know, like I feel like I have a calling to really like be that staple that changes generations of my family and like sets the tone for my little cousins, for my nephew.
Yeah.
For, you know, like, cause like I said, like, and I'm not talking, it's just like where I'm from, you know, the normal, like where I'm from, this is what I was talking earlier, like where I'm from, the normal is, which there's nothing wrong with this. Like, I'm not talking shit, but the normal is you go to high school, you go to college 4 years or 2 years, you get your certificate or degree, you get a 40 to 70K paying job. You work that for...
They're lucky if they get 40 to 70K
you work
now.
that for 35, 40 years, retire on your pension and live a nice, like, calm country life. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, I fear that.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that. So, like, that's what pushed me to do business. And, like, I realized, like, I'm looking around, seeing all these people and, like, you know, like, and also I hated schools for real. Like, I didn't want to go to, like, grad school or... I'm not about to, you know, do all this much longer.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in control of my schedule. I wanted to make a lot of money. So I think that naturally put me in the business mind frame. But like also, like I said, my mind was just wired for it, like for a long time.
I'm going to write that down real quick. So, and then the next thing I want to get into is, so how did you hear about us? It was Jeff Smith,
Well, yeah,
right?
Jeff. Yeah, so I remember it was right after I'd had my ankle surgery. I had full ankle reconstruction. Like full ankle reconstruction. Every single ligament in my left ankle was completely obliterated. Like nothing was holding it together. So I have full reconstruction. And then my right one, I'm still supposed to have that done. But when I was in the rehab time with that, I was reading tons of real estate books. Like that was what I originally wanted to do.
How'd you get into the real estate books?
So my best friend, Isaiah, his uncle, Jermaine Fox, does real estate real successfully in Columbus.
Yeah.
And he was honestly... I need to take a step back real quick. He planted a big seed one day, like when I was like 22. I was like I was like 20. I was either 20 or 21. And Isaiah was like, "Hey, let's go up to Columbus one day. Me, you, and Ike, which is my other best friend." He said, "What? Let's go up to Columbus one day, and we're going to just kick it with my uncle Jermaine for a day. He's bossed up. Let's go just, you know, listen to him." And I'm like, "Yeah." So we go up there. He's teaching us all this like real estate. He's driving a Tesla in a suit, you know, teaching us this different stuff about real estate, about really how easy it is to get rich if you do the right things. Like a lot of people think it's just this like crazy hard thing when it's really not if you just do basic principles every day for a while.
Yeah.
And like when he blueprinted that, I'm like, damn, like that's really not that hard.
Yeah.
You know, so like that really, I was like a sophomore at that point and I'm already doing my thing and I'm already around people who are in business.
Yep.
You know, I got connections, like I had connections with that. So like I started getting into the real estate books, but like what I hadn't thought about at that point was like, you know, to get real aggressive with real, like, yeah, you can do real estate with no money down and stuff, but like, it's going to be a long play. Like, you know, to really like do real estate, you need some capital.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I got to get money and then do this. But I was wondering how. You know, I knew I wanted to do like something like entrepreneurish, but then my counselor in college, and she was also a business professor of mine, who I had given multiple presentations in front of, like in class and stuff. She told me, I was like asking her, I'm like, what do you think that I should do? You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, Connor, I think you'd be great in like a sales role. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great, but what should I sell? Because you see all these different sales jobs out there, you know, like selling security systems, selling pest control, you know, lawn care, whatever. Yeah. So I didn't want to be like an annoying salesman, you know what I mean? But she was like, you know, insurance is a really good one. Like everybody I know that does it is really wealthy.
Yeah.
And it pays like, you know, like residual income.
She knew all that?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I was like, well, she's a business professor, you know what I'm saying? So she was well-rounded, you know, she had been teaching business for a long time. And, you know, so like, I really just kind of like, I didn't like go searching for a job at that point, but that's how I got like hip to the industry, you know? So like then I was on Snapchat one day and Jeff had posted his new car. And, you know, I've known Jeff for a long time and like, you know, Jeff comes from a humble background, you know, like Jeff's never had a handout in anything. Always worked hard for what he has. Great family, you know what I'm saying? But like, Jeff has had to get it on his own.
Yeah.
Always. So if you see a friend that's younger than you driving a nice whip, like, that they're doing well for themselves. Like, I hit him up. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm in the insurance industry. Like, let me get you an interview. So I go in, and Dylan Murphy, obviously,
Hell yeah, no Murph.
So I was like, I'm sitting there in my interview, and I just want to be real with it. I'm like, how much money can I make here? Starting out. Because I wanted to be straight commission. I didn't want any salary, because I've always just heard, they're going to give you a small salary and then, make your commission small, and you're really just going to make no money. You'd rather be full commission. And I knew I was going to sell it. I knew whatever I was selling, I was going to sell, but I wanted to sell something that people actually needed with the big market, which is why insurance appealed to me. Yeah. So I hit him up. I come in, I'm talking to Dylan. Dylan shows me his 1099. It's got 104,000. Yeah. I said, dog, what'd I do? That's literally just popped in my mind. As soon as I saw it, like, I was literally just like, all right, what do I sign? I don't care. I don't care what it is. Because at this point, I'm already used to the grind. Yeah. Because my college coach was,
What month was this?
March of 2018. Or February, March 2018. Yeah. And at this point, like, when I see that paper, I'm like, dude, I don't care what I had to do to make 104,000. I don't care what I had to do to make 104,000. I'm with it all the way.
Didn't you finish the top 10 that year?
I finished like number 11, but I only had like 7.5 months, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I finished like number 11, but I think if I had my 12 months, but we can sit here and talk about that all the time. All the time. But yes, wishfully thinking if I had my whole year. Yeah. But, so, I come in for my interview, I get my license. I got my license done like lickety split, because like I said, I had my foot was rehabbing. Yeah. So I start, and bro, I just hit the ground running, like it was really like, I just fell in love with being in control of everything. Like, as far as my income, my schedule, all that. And, it's like I would never look back now. Yeah. And that's kind of how I started out. But my first year and a half, literally, dog, I was still taking 15 hours. Because like I said, I wanted to drop out, but my parents were like, no, like, you've came this far. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm about to make 120 in 7 months, like 120,000 in 7 months, probably, and humbly, like, not talking, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't want to come in and listen to professors who aren't trying to do that. That's just what my mindset was at. Yeah. Arrogant at that time. Yeah. I because my dad and mom brought me down to that level. Like, listen, it's still going to pay off for you getting these degrees and stuff, even though, like, yes, still work this and that. But, like, you got to finish. So my next year and a half, like, I was literally driving, because, I lived an hour into Ohio from the office. Yeah. Not 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, an hour from our office in Huntington, West Virginia. So, like, just to get to the office was an hour. Then our areas were far further from there in West Virginia. So, like, I'm driving minimum 4 hours a day. Yeah. Minimum. That's just to get to my areas, not any in-between travel. Yes, sir. So I'm working nonstop, driving all these miles, sitting, and then I got to bust at home and speed home for class at 6:30 to dissect fucking frogs in a full suit. Yep. I'm not joking. Like, I remember literally dissecting frogs in a full suit. Yep. Like, so, doing this and that, and it really was a grind, like, super grind to do the school and this. Yeah. But, like, that's where, like, my senior year of college, like, bro, I wasn't partying. I was this and that. Like, I still lived in the house with my basketball teammates, and, like, I'm going to bed by like 9:30, getting up at 5. My friends are out doing this and that, having the fun. And, like, that was a sacrifice, and, like, I don't regret it. I don't. But, like, that was how it went. And then as soon as I graduated, dog, it was just like so thankful. But I'm super thankful I did now, because, like, having 2 degrees holds weight. It really does. Like, I didn't really feel like it would at that time. But now, like, if I'm talking to a client on Zoom, they see my degrees in the background, they'll ask about it. It provides legitimacy. It provides, I don't know, it just substance.
Wait, you have 2 degrees?
Yeah, I got a bachelor's in business administration and then a associate's in business finance.
Oh, okay.
I think that's considered 2 degrees. Shut the hell up. That's what it felt like my first 2 years. I'm in here doing art. Yeah. Like I said, dissecting fraud. I'm like, man, I'm not. That's why I just couldn't get into school. I hated school. I could have been way better at school. Like, my knowledge was like, I could have been way better, but dude, I just knew I wasn't doing that shit, and I wasn't trying to listen, and I don't care. Like, I know that probably sounds spoiler, but I wasn't with it.
So what was your first year like in the business?
A grind, dog, like crazy grind. Yeah. Like, first, until it went virtual, it was like that. And it's still a grind, but it's a much easier grind.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
any
like,
crazy funny stories your first year in?
Of the field?
Just think in general, like top two, maybe your favorite memory and then your craziest memory.
I got 3 pretty crazy ones. Well, one of them is just like having pistols pulled on you. That. Like that's just an animal in itself. And like, like you're knocking, you're outdoor knocking at 6 o'clock at night in Logan, West Virginia, and dude, you knock on the door and you get answered with the damn, 40 caliber right on your forehead. You know what I'm saying? So like, those are, those are different, but you get used to it and, you become comfortable in those moments and people respect when you're not all scary about it, So I'm just, listen, this is why I'm here. I don't care if you keep that gun on you, but just don't point it at me. That's what I always used to tell them. Like, I ain't going to do nothing. Keep it right on your hip. I don't care. Just don't point it at me, please. And they'd be like, yeah, well, come right in. Super cool. But so that was like always, but a crazy one.
So they never
one
had
time,
it pulled. See, like anytime I would come to the door, it would already be sideways.
Like
that's why I would run.
It would be on my head.
All right.
But I would just tell them, listen, I don't care if you keep that on you, just please don't point it at me. And they'd be like, all right. Once they realize I'm up, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not up to no good or whatever. A crazy one time I'm sitting with this client, me and my cousin, we're sitting with this client and he lived down this like really, and I used to, like I drove a small Honda Civic, bro. I'd take it on these crazy adventures.
Yes.
Like I know my whole family was literally worried sick about me.
Oh, yes.
But just being honest, I didn't care. Like I was just willing to do whatever, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And they get it now.
Yeah.
But at that time, they were like, dude, like, what are you doing?
What is Conor doing?
Yeah. So,
Stupid.
but me and my cousin were like sitting with this couple and they lived at the bottom of this like huge dirt hill.
Yeah.
So right at the bottom of the hill was like this little creek. We drove through it, wasn't nothing major. Okay. When we get down there, while we're in the sit, it flash floods. Okay. While we're meeting with the client, it literally flash floods. Like I'm talking like crazy rain.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's more like the most pissed I ever been meet with a client because these like 2 65-year-olds neither have policies. The wife is sitting there looking at husband, begging him to get it. Husband pays $72 and he's 65 and husband pays $70 a month in MMORPG gaming memberships online as a 65-year-old in West Virginia. Like World of Warcraft and stuff, multiple of them.
Sounds like Peter.
So he's not trying to protect it, his wife, so they're looking at me like, like what the heck, and like so I'm already frustrated with dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't say it to him, but I was ready to get up out of here. So we go to leave and I can't get out. It's like 7 foot of flash flooded running water between me and the road.
Yeah.
And my car's on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy just didn't, like, it's not the fact that he didn't buy, it's why he didn't buy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just salty. We're stuck and we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like 7:40 on like a Tuesday, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. So I call a couple of my friends. One of them's like, yeah, I'll come get you, but I'm like 2.5 hours away. So I'm like, all right. So like, I'm just sitting up there. I'm so pissed off. And like, if you know me, like all my friends would know this, but like, I hate cigarettes, like nicotine, like cigarettes. Yeah. I hate it.
You're not like cigars tonight?
Yeah, but I don't inhale them.
Nobody inhales cigars.
Exactly, that's my point. Cigarettes you inhale. You know what I'm saying? Nicotine just fucks with me real bad. Ugh. And so, but I'm sitting there and I'm so pissed off, and this dude and my cousin are sitting there just smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, give me them. So I just start chain smoking cigs for like 2.5 hours, dog. Yeah. I'm so salty. And then, what we didn't think about was when my friend got there, we still had to go through this moving water.
Yeah.
And it's like deep and fast, and like some serious like just like some serious country shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm nervous to walk across this. You know what I mean? So my cousin does it no problem. I get like halfway through and my foot, like, cause it's like hard rock at the bottom, and my foot like slips and I get stuck and I'm like getting drilled with water, and if I make one wrong move, like I'm going floating. So I'm like nervous. All right. So
I can't believe I'm listening.
So like my cousin like helps get me out. The guy like helps get me to the other side. So I had but my clothes were soaked. So like I had to ride, like we had like a 2.5 hour drive home. I'm sitting there in only my underwear, pissed, don't have my car, nicotine buzz from hell.
So you had to leave your car there?
Yeah, for like 3 days until it went down. Dude called me when it went down, and like I had to go out there and get it. but straight flash flooded. I got a client's house 2.5 hours away. That was one. This other one, man, I can't even say on the air. It was so crazy, dog. We're gonna have to talk about that tonight.
I'm excited for that one, dude.
even
I'm over
say
here
it,
like
bro.
about to die. I feel myself.
Yeah.
I'm on 8 yawns. Your second year in the business. So your first year, what'd you make?
In 7 months, I made $107,000.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Now, what about your second year?
Second year was 143.
But what did that look like for you though? Like, what did that year look like? Your second year in the business. So that would have been 2019.
Yeah, same, just writing business, but mostly away.
Were you a
I
top-
spent like 6 months in Airbnbs.
Okay. Were you a top 10 agent that year?
I was 11 again.
Are you kidding me?
No. Or wait. It was either 9 or 11.
Damn.
I think it was 11 because
Yeah.
top 10 go on stage. I remember as Amber Fitzmartin beat me by like a couple hundred ALP for number 10 now. Now I remember about it. So I was like kind of salty. But
I wonder if I was a top 10 in 2019.
yeah, good one. You was number 2.
No, that was 2018. I was number 2.
What was you in 19?
I was number 1 essay. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I was. I think I still wrote 100,000.
Yeah,
so I
you
don't-
did. You
I
did
don't
your
know.
thing. Yeah, and it's
don't know.
but see, 2019 too, I didn't work all of February because I had convinced my teachers to let me skip class
Mm-hmm.
in January and March if they would let me do all my work in February. So
Yeah.
I didn't go in the field one time.
So you had
in
more of an
February.
11
I
month
finished
or-
negative
Yeah.
for the month in February.
Yeah.
Because I had one chargeback and I didn't go out of the field one time. So
Was there anything that stood out in 2019? Any stories? Anything that stood out to you?
like
Good, bad,
just
ugly?
the sacrifice for real. Like that was what I'm saying. I spent 6 months in hotels and Airbnbs, like completely away from home that year. So you learn a lot. Like when you're guaranteed no income, you're hours away by yourself, driving everywhere. Like you learn how to run your biz and like how to take it serious and like how to evaluate profits and stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
you're investing $3,000 to $4,000 in these Airbnbs and hotels a month before you even make a cent,
Yeah.
not including all your travel. So like you just learn how to like really like you play with your back against the wall in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so that was like what would stick out to me. 2019 was like a big year of just like learning how to run a business in a way.
Yeah.
2018 I was just out selling.
Yeah.
2019 was more sales and learning how to, you know, run a biz. And then 2020 was it was a good business year, bro, but just adversity filled, you know, like for real. You know, 2020, you know, is a year I'm not forgetting about, but like, you know, I've just moved on from business wise. You know, I didn't have the best year in business, but it wasn't really due like, and I'm not making excuses. I just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot.
Do you want to share that?
I can. Yeah.
So what do you want to share out of 2020?
Well, you know,
Because I know everything, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
so-
You share what you want to share.
I mean, I'll share it all. You know, it ain't.
Yeah, you
I'm
share
here
what you
now, and
want.
I know a lot of people probably never even really know what happened with my
Yeah.
dad. Basically, in 2020, I took a jump. I worked out of our Huntington, West Virginia office, 18 and 19. At the end of 2019, me and Simon had kind of came together and like agreed that it would just be best for my growth to get in a bigger market, develop my own culture, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we talked about potential locations. He's like, dude, I've wanted to get Memphis forever.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So we made the plan. Simon pretty much let me handle it all as far as like going and finding the real estate. Like, I learned a lot in this process.
Yeah, you did. I remember you did it all yourself.
He was like, you know, he gave me the monthly budget, and
Yeah.
from there it was like, you know, pretty much like go pick what you want, figure it out.
Yeah.
So, you know, like me and Charles Coleman went to Memphis, toured 10 different office locations.
Is he still with us?
No, but he's killing it. He's in the real estate stuff.
Okay.
He's gonna put us on to some game.
Good.
He's about to move out to Cali for 6 months
Let's go.
with the dog and like, you know, like get real game. So
Let's go.
Charles doing great. That's my boy. Love him to death. But you know, we had came down, we had to figure out like how to negotiate office contracts, like how to set up damn copy machines, like, you know, just like all this administrative stuff I never ever imagined doing was really the hard parts of like getting an office up and running, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, not to mention I'm 10 hours away from home in the South, you know, different culture, different clients,
Yeah.
you know, so those all had its challenges in itself. So like, you know, March, April and May, we were building, you know, just building a base was what our goal was. We wanted to build a really strong base and then scale.
Yep.
Well, in the middle of that, you know, in June, you know, it was Father's Day weekend, was, you know, coming up. And, you know, like I was spoken earlier, me and my dad had, you know, as close of a father-son relationship as you can get, you know?
Yeah.
And basically we had made plans that he, you know, cause I hadn't seen him since I moved to Memphis in March. You know, I hadn't seen him. Him and my brother-in-law and my nephew helped me move down.
Yeah.
And when I hugged him by the U-Haul, that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was in March.
Yeah.
So this was going to be the next time I'd seen him. I wasn't able to make it home during those 3 months because, you know what it takes to build an office. I mean, it's, you know, 85 hours, 90 hours a week, every week. So we had, you know, plans for my dad to come visit for Father's Day weekend. And we had reservations to eat at a place called Houston's. Not sure if you ever ate there. So, you know, supposedly I haven't ate there yet. Going to go on his birthday on the 12th. But
what month is his birthday?
This month on the 12th.
December
coming
12th.
up. Yeah, so we're going to go there next week.
I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to shoot you a text.
My man. But so we have Father's Day plans for him to come down for the weekend. We was going to, you know, go eat. I was going to show him the city, bring him to the office to get to feel the culture and stuff. And he was supposed to arrive, you know, around like 5:30 at my place, 5:36. So like I left the office early that day. You know, wanted to make sure that the place was, you know, nice and clean for him. And it got to be about 6 o'clock, 6:15, and I just hadn't heard from him in like a couple hours, you know. And my dad was a real young-minded person. Like he wasn't like this old-fashioned cat that didn't know how to use an iPhone. Yeah. Very hip to stuff. And that's why all my friends gravitated toward him, because he was like that cool dad growing up. But he also held our asses accountable. Yeah. Like my dad, like you can ask all my friends, like my dad called us out on our bullshit, held us accountable, would get us, you know, would discipline us, not physically. He didn't need to. You know, he's super smart. Yeah. He'd make you feel like shit for doing something wrong and then build you up. Like he knew how to parent the right way, you know? So he was the type, if he was ever going to be late, he let me know. Yeah. And it got to be like 6:15. Man, my instincts just started telling me, man, something's wrong. So, you know, I called him, no answer, texting him, not even getting read. So I'm just like, you know, fuck it. I'm about to, you know, just drive to where I knew he was coming from. Yeah. You know, and at this point it's probably about 6:30. So I hop in the car and I just start flying towards Nashville because I knew he's coming from Ohio. So, you know, and I'm calling different friends of mine from Memphis that I've met, seeing if they've heard anything about a wreck, this and that. Nobody's, you know, saying that they had. So I get about 45 minutes into the drive and still nothing, you know, and I'm, like I said, I'm flying, bro. I'm 120 up through there, you know, just flying past everybody. And I really didn't want to involve my family at this point because I didn't want to cause a scare. Yeah. You know, because like my dad is and was the staple of our family, like 100%. Mentally, emotionally, all that. Anybody needs advice, shit, money, whatever, they're going to come to my dad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So friends too. Yeah, you know? And so I was trying to avoid bringing my family into it just because I knew it would just stir it up. So, but then it got to a point where I was like, man, you know, this is real. Like something's up. You know? And at this point, I'm just praying something happened to where like he don't have his phone or something like that. Yeah. I'm hoping maybe he just got in like a small accident, is filling out like a police report, not answering me or something like that. You know what I mean? So I call my dad's girlfriend, Nancy, and, you know, I'm like, hey, can you track Dad's Apple Watch for me and send me the location? She's like, yeah, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, I just want to see where he's at. Yeah. You know? So she sends me it, but when she sends it, it shows that there's a wreck there, like on the map. So like at that point, you know, I'm like, shit. And like I said, bro, I just can't even explain this like feeling that's in me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like at this point, I'm really just feeling off, you know. And I'm an instinctual person, anyways. Yeah. So you got to be in business. You know, it's all that. So like my instincts are just through the roof at this point. I'm like, dude, just something's up. Praying. And so I get about 2 hours from Memphis towards Nashville. Nashville's about 2:30 away, and traffic's backed up deep. But I'm like, I'm not waiting in this traffic. Yeah. So I just literally, bro, go in the middle, like in the median. And I was driving like half road, half grass at first. And then this semi saw that I was like trying to get around. I think he thought that I was like just being impatient and like pulled over and cut me off. So I just like pull in the middle of the grass, bro. I'm just driving like through the, like, you know, you on the highway and you see that thick grass in the middle. I'm like just driving through there for like 2 miles. And I get up to the scene, you know, and you know, I get out the car and there's like 3 or 4 cops waiting on me there because I'd been texting my dad like, hey, I'm on my way. You know, I love you. I hope you're all right. You know, type of stuff. And, you know, they had his phone, but he had a passcode and they couldn't unlock it and reply to me. So like, they knew I was coming. So like, they were there waiting on me. And, you know, I didn't really even have to ask what happened because like, bro, the scene was like nuts, you know, like just, man, it looked like a bomb went off, you know, just shrapnel everywhere, smoke, cars, furniture, because the semi was carrying furniture. Just like I said, I mean, it just imagine like you threw like 2 grenades or something and it just went, it just like looks like just total, a semi's laying all the way across the road. It's like a total, just huge mess. And my dad's car is like disintegrated damn near, you know, it's like the size of a backpack. And not really a backpack, but like a desk, you know what I'm saying? Just disintegrated. And, you know, they told me, and, you know, I remember I really blacked out and, you know, my ears just started ringing and, you know, I just went into like this, you know, state of shock, I guess you'd say. And I was trying to process things and like, I was terrified to call my family, bro. Terrified. That was the hardest part for a lot of it, man. And I didn't even do it for real. Like my dad's girl is a saint, bro. Nancy. Like I called her, you know, and I told her, and I just told her I can't call grandma, you know? Like I couldn't. And like, I hated putting that pressure on anybody else, but it was just like, bro, I was so shook up and like, didn't know how to really do it. So like, you know, I'm sitting there just like looking around. Like I said, I mean, it's literally just like everything's just spinning. And like, my dad's my best friend, bro, my everything. You know, like someone who I literally like, anybody who really knows me knows how deep it was, you know, like way deeper than, and I'm not like trying to hate on anybody else's father-son relationship, this and that, but like I'm telling you, there may be people out there that's tied, but there is no father-son relationship that was closer to me and my pops. It just can't happen. You can maybe tie it, you know what I'm saying, but you just ain't. Like, it's, you know, so there's just all this stuff going through my head and, you know, I'm blacked out and I'm just pissed, sad, frustrated. Like, how did this even happen? Because it looks insane. Like, like I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, dude, how does this even happen? Type of thing. And, you know, so the cops start talking to me. They're like, you know, we need you to come to the hospital to do the pronunciation and all that. Because you know, my dad had been removed from the scene, you know. And, you know, he passed away on impact. Like, you know, because you know, the truck was going so fast that, you know, like, it, you know, just way out of pocket. So, you know, I had to follow the cops like 30 minutes up, you know, and I'm all alone. And because I didn't want to take, you know, my girl at the time with me because like I was trying to save her from the mental side of what I was about to go through. You know, I didn't want nobody else to go through that with me. I knew something was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I knew immediately. Like I was just trying to pray for the best. Like I knew something was really wrong. I didn't want to put nobody else through that. So, you know, I'm following these cops alone. I turned my phone off because like I just didn't want anybody calling and texting me because like there was so much traffic. People were putting it on Facebook Live and shit, like foul shit. You know, like recording the wreck and stuff. And so like it got shared all over Facebook. People back home ended up seeing it. You know, my phone started to blow up, so I turned it off. So I go to the hospital, I do the pronunciation, which was, you know, not something I want to do. And then, you know, the highway was shut down because the semi was stuck on it. You know, it was laying across, the semi had came out, you know, was in the right lane of another far right highway and came all the way across the median, going significantly too fast, doing the wrong things. And, you know, hit my dad head on. And, So it was laying across the road. So I couldn't like take the highway back. And after I drove that 30 minutes, I'm already 2 hours and 45 minutes away and from home. So I had to take the back way, bro. The back way made it like a 6-hour drive, 5.5, 6-hour drive that I had to make after doing all that alone, bro. And like mind is everywhere. Can't talk to nobody because like I can't even talk myself, bro.
Yeah.
Like I can't even like I remember like I was trying to. I felt like I had just like the weight of the world in my chest. I can't even breathe hardly.
Yeah.
And so I finally make it home, and I was just in total shock and disbelief and just hurt,
Yeah.
and just wondering like how I'm gonna do it in a way, because like I've always been able to handle my shit, but like I said, like anytime I needed someone to vent to, advice, like anything, like how to handle this or whatever, he was that staple for me.
Yeah.
So then like the funeral and just like
What was that first week like?
Terrible.
Leading up to the funeral. Like, do you think you slept at all?
I mean, yeah, I did in a way because I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
Get points where I'd have to. And like, it was just hard, bro, because you got to make so many decisions quick. Like I handled all the funeral arrangements. I handled all, the just everything,
Yeah.
And not by that my family wouldn't help, but like, that's just me.
Yep.
I didn't want nobody else to do it but me, because
Yeah.
I know that's how he would have wanted it.
Yeah.
Because he, what I mean? It just is the way it is. So, I handled all that. And then
What was driving like after?
Hard, bro. You just think about a lot of stuff. And like, I still, it's like something, when my dad died, bro, I just like, I always had a really big fear growing up. Like my biggest fear my entire life always was I was always really scared for my dad to see me in a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
Whether that be hurt physically, mentally, in trouble, like if I'm in trouble or something, like that was always my biggest thing. I never wanted to disappoint him and scare him. And like, so, after he passed, I kind of like almost in a way lost that fear.
Yeah.
Like not like, that's why I don't really talk to a lot of people about it, because they always think it like, oh, you're depressed. Like, no, I'm not. Like I have depressed times. I get sad as fuck all the time. I get it out, but like I'm not depressed, because that's like my dad made it be known like, hey, if I'm not here, it's your time to go, like to go shine. And like he left it for me in all kinds of notes. Like my dad left a lot of stuff behind for me, like sentimental stuff, to make sure that I know how we rock and like, how he wanted me to keep moving if he wasn't here no more. It's almost like in a way, bro, it's kind of weird, because it was almost like he knew he was going to die young because of how much stuff he prepared for me for when he wasn't here anymore. Stuff I can't really talk about. Yeah. But like there's a lot that he made sure to for me to understand how things like that went. So like, and then, just when someone dies, it makes a lot of family stuff go on, this and that, people coming at me from all different directions outside of my family. Like, people wanting stuff, or just like people just talking. Yeah. Death makes people act weird and out of pocket. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it makes them do things that reflect real character. Yeah. So when adversity strikes is when you really see what people are about and stuff. And like, I found that out heavy. Yeah. Like who real family was and who real family wasn't. That, friends, everything. Yeah. Who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like that really made me like understand. So life what did that look like growing out of you? That's not still something you grow out of. That's still something bro. Like still you're cry every damn day in the shower. Yeah. And nobody knows that. That's my first time telling anybody that. It's like I have ways that I get my emotions out. Yeah. But like also just keeping it real. I'm not about to sit around and be a little bitch about it all the time. Like that's not what my dad wanted. Like, he prepared me to be able to handle adverse situations. That's the worst thing I could really imagine for me. But like, I was taught by him how to handle those kind of things. And, just this, and even with months after that, with having to, deal with certain legal matters, with having to deal with certain people, make certain decisions, keep my business running. Yeah. Like that's, we forgot about that. You know what I'm saying? Like all this is going on and like I'm still trying to run a full-time business, trying to take care of my family and friends, trying to like take care of, really not worried about taking care of myself, bro.
Yeah.
Myself was really like the last one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like masking all these emotions like day in, day out, pushing through it, you know? So that was, and it's still difficult, bro. Like I think about my dad 35 times a day, bro.
Yeah.
40 times, you know, it's like there's nothing that's ever going to push that out. And I don't want it to.
Yeah.
Because it pushes me, bro.
Yeah.
Truly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just have my vision for what I have to do has grown so much from that. And here's the thing. Not that I wish it would have took that. Dude, I you know what I'm saying? Like, but like you have to deal with the situation you're dealt. You got to play the hand you're dealt. And like, you know, I just know what my dad would want from me as far as moving forward and, you know, letting what he did for me and just everything motivate me to be a great dad, to be a provider for not just me, not just my intermediate family, but like everybody around me, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that's just it just opened up a scale of things. But just like that, like, dude, just the trauma with that, like you know, just you deal with stuff, you know, like I have mental images, flashbacks, like all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like PTSD.
What
like
helps you the most through that?
God,
what's helped you the
really,
most? Your faith?
Straight up, just my faith.
Yeah.
And just getting it out and like giving it to something bigger. Aggression, as far as like getting my aggression, mind, body, spirit, bro.
Yeah, you've put on like 40 pounds probably.
Like you know, reading.
Like good weight, muscle.
Yeah, like reading, like really educating myself on how to handle adverse situations, like how to stay calm, how to not
What's
just react.
What's the best book that's helped you?
Bro, really, like just all around everything Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Like I don't think there is a better book, really, because like I just love the aspect of it. But just like, you know, there's another one I read. I can't remember the author right now. It's called "You'll Get Through This." Mm-hmm. You know, I'm reading a couple other ones right now.
Have you read A Man's Search for Meaning?
No.
By Viktor Frankl. You should read it.
Give me up. So, but yeah, just like things like that. Like I'm really engulfing myself in mind, body, spirit. Like, you know, like training my mind to be tough.
Yeah.
And to understand others and to have empathy. Taking care of my body, making sure I'm not drinking a shit ton, smoking a shit ton, you know, just like, because that ain't going to do no good.
That takes a lot of strength too, to like go through what you go and not to numb the pain.
And I'll be honest with you, bro, for about a month and a half, I did.
Yeah.
Like, you know, from like June and July after that happened, dog, I was,
Just
you know, drinking whiskey damn near every night, you know, smoking and just like trying to mask that. And like, I even have a picture. I'll send it to you later. Like, I had someone take a picture of me on like July 6th, dog, and I'm like, skin and bones.
Yeah.
And like, I remember I saw a picture. I'm like, dude, I look not myself. And I got to change because this is exactly what he didn't want me to do.
Yeah.
So that's where I made my mind up. Like, I'm going to motivate myself with this. And nobody can fuck with that motivation. Yeah. Nobody. It's so inwardly intrinsic. Like, I have an extrinsic motivation heavily. Yeah. Several people. I don't care if this is healthy or not. I don't really care. I know it's healthy for me. I have a lot of people I want to prove wrong. A lot. Yeah. Like, run through their fucking face. Just being honest with you. Yeah. Like, you know, but also that's not the only motivation I have. I feel like if that's the only motivation you have, you're going to burn. You know what I'm saying? You have to be intrinsically motivated, which I have a lot of. I think a balance of both can make you lethal, you know? Yeah. So like, you know, that's where a lot of my intrinsic motivation comes from. And just like, you know, like at this point, dude, that's like my sole purpose. I want to honor him and I want to change a lot of people's lives like he did. Cause like, I mean, his, you know, even just at his funeral, like, bro, people from all walks, everybody, and like everybody had the same thing to say. Yeah. Like your dad took care of himself. Like everybody, bro, my dad looked like he was like 35, 40, you know what I mean? He was 50. Never missed a day of the gym, really took care of himself, looked good, never made a fool of himself, was in control of his emotions, was gentle, never raised his voice. You know, so like the little things like that, like real boss stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like can't get him out of himself. Yeah. That's like, you know, that was who he was. So, yeah, dude, I mean, that was really like that's what hit 2020 for me, to get back to the main. Yeah. Like 2020 was just a grind caused that. But like now 2021, we built a lot of momentum. We got a lot of good pieces in place. So we're really looking forward to like killing this next year. Yeah. Like really, really like taking it next level. We've got a lot of good things in place. A lot of good people. What's the best memory from this year, from 2021? I mean, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I went through some adversity this year too. Hell yeah. A good bit. Hell yeah. You know. Yeah. You want to share it too or no? Nah, because I don't want to even get that time of day. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's chalked up. Yeah. But I was like, let's not even highlight that. Yeah, nah, but I'm just saying it ain't been peaches and cream. You know what I'm saying? But also like when you lose someone, like I lost my dad, you find out like what's really a big deal. Yeah. Was that adversity? Yeah, but bro, at the end of the day, it's not. Yeah. Really. if we're talking real adversity.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, bro, I'm out with that.
Is there a good memory though for this year? Something you can hold on to and be
watching my people grow.
Good.
Watching Van Bibber turn into a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Watching TJ, Christian, Osiris, like Tristan, Brandon, Summer, like all of our people, Bradley, like all of our people, like that's the most rewarding to me. And then also just like being able to help my family and shit out. Yeah. Like those are good memories. Like, I used to not be able to like, I never had another career or anything. So like, just being able to like do stuff for my people around me and like put people in positions like, that's like my favorite memory. There's been good memories, but I'll tell you this too, bro. Like when like 2020 and then like the first part of 2021, I'm in straight survival mode. So it's like I'm taking each day for what it is and then just kind of wiping it out and moving. Like not like I'm trying, like not in a bad way, but I really haven't been reflecting the past year and a half because I've been in survival mode. Yeah. When you're in that time, you focus on each day, attack it for each day for what it is. If you got time to reflect, you do. But like I'm out of it now. Yeah. Like I'm hitting my groove right now. Yeah. I'm mentally as good a place as I've ever been. Yeah. Because I feel tougher. I feel able to handle situations better.
Nothing can hurt you now, dude.
Real shit. That's just, I'm sure there is. It can hurt me for sure, but it, like you would just learn.
I don't know what, dude. Death. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what.
Nah, for sure.
Like, well, but just through, like, bro?
But that, like I said, people been through way worse too. That's why I don't think about it that way. Yeah, I've had a lot of different things, but like, there's people out there who would have killed it for those to be their least problems. Yeah. So that is also a big thing too. Like I'm not about to just sit around and whine, bro. Like there's people in my intermediate circle and just like, even just like, like friends, like I got friends that are struggling, with certain demons. Yeah. That motivates me a lot because I'm trying to be a light for them and just little things like that. Yeah. So it's really a combination of a lot,
So as we bring it home, what are your top 3 favorite books?
Like I said, Can't Hurt Me. I really like No Excuses by Brian Tracy. I've read it like 3 times now. Yeah. But keeping it real, bro, I read the Bible every day. So like I feel like
you got to
that's what I read the most. Yeah. So I would put that number 1 because that's what gives me like my
any verses you held on to?
Cast all anxiety on, me because I care for you. That's something I relay in my head every day. Cause dude, I got anxiety. Like, dude, like, I feel like, this, like, like when I'm doing business things, I'm really out of my comfort zone a lot. Yeah. I'm like, I like to talk. I'm like, I'm not a introvert, but also there's a lot of things that business requires me to do that makes me uncomfortable, that give me anxiety. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, like like the term anxiety, I don't even really know what it is, but like I feel anxiousness all the time about like making decisions and stuff like that. Yeah. So like I relay that verse in my head all day. Isaiah 41:10, fear not, for I'm with you. That's a solid one. Like you feel like you got that just on your shoulder. Yeah. So those are 2, but I would feel fake if I didn't say that because I read the Bible every morning and every night. And so, and like I said, I'm not a religion head. Like I'm not trying to push religion. It's just what works for me. Yeah. Yeah. So
do you have a favorite, let me hear movie first. I'm going to go into something else. I love movies, so I always ask everybody if they got a favorite movie.
Comedy is Step Brothers, dog. I still.
Oh, like,
comedy wise, dog, I just got, me and my friends watch that all the time.
Yeah, you definitely have bunk beds with your friends.
More room for activities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that comedy wise,
I think one of my favorite scenes is Welcome to the Jungle, where they're singing it in the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he's like, yeah. I'm not gonna call him that. Like, even if there's a fire.
Yeah, dude.
That's a good one. Other movies, I really like the Godfather trilogy a lot.
So that's Simon's favorite movie.
Honestly, it's hard because I'm not a big movie guy. I'm like the type, I fall asleep like 10 minutes in. Damn. Yeah. It's because, and just the attention too, like it's gotta be a movie I really want to watch to sit back or to sit down and watch something for 2 hours.
Now, what about music? Are you Young Dolph favorite?
That's my favorite. I know that's why.
Crazy,
but yeah, but even same with music. Like I don't listen to a whole lot of music because music puts me in.
What are you talking about? Your Spotify Wrapped Up said you had 200,000 minutes of Young Dolph this year.
That's because it was every minute I was working out, and I work out every single day, if not twice a day.
200,000 minutes is 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day.
That's not true. You're just winging some numbers. I didn't have 200,000 minutes. You're making that shit up.
Hilarious.
But I mean, music's the same way. Like,
I didn't realize how like well-rounded Dolph was until you told me
straight
about
businessman, bro.
how like invested he was in his community.
I was sick when I was sick about that.
Yeah,
Cause like I like
died.
listening to music that like has like
meaning.
entrepreneurial,
Yeah.
like I like, that kind of stuff. So like, but that's also what I'm saying. Like just music wise, like,
I thought you liked Lil Xan the most.
God, shut up.
Your
bro.
friends need to know that. They make it this far. They need to know that.
Well, music wise, I only listen to when I lift. Really, I don't really listen to music outside of that.
Yeah, you do.
When?
I know you do. It just sounds good.
I mean, I do in the car
Exactly,
sometimes.
people look at it.
Sometimes, like, no, but not a lot. You can even ask my friends. Like, when I would be training in the field back in, like, 18, 19, my trainees would ask me, like, all the time, like, bro, do you ever turn anything on the radio?
Yeah.
Because we'd be making these, like,
That's how
3-hour
Rob
drives.
is. He'd
And
always
I'm
be-
just doing it dead
Yes.
quiet, like, looking at the
I'd
mountains.
always have books on, and then Rob would be like, "Can we put Juice WRLD on?" I was like, "We're not putting fucking Juice WRLD on, dude."
RIP. But
Right.
listen, so I just, like when I work out, that's when I really listen to my music, because truly, like, music to me puts me in like modes, and I don't really like much more types of music. So like, it really gets me on edge. That's why I like it when I lift, because like I exert that energy.
Yeah.
But if I listen to it all the time, I'm like
Did
unapproachable.
you have music this morning?
I'm like in the weight room, yeah. You know I did. You saw it.
You should have put something maybe more edgy on for you, because
Yeah.
it didn't seem like you were on edge.
He said he's got
This dude
all
hits
the
arms every day of the week.
false.
I've been looking at your story. I'm like, all right, bet he's hitting
a false
arms. Maybe he'll
statement.
come up here, hit legs, maybe.
It's a
I'm like,
false
all right,
statement.
let's go up with this workout. He's like,
My legs are bigger than yours.
what are you like? I'm like, I'm gonna hit shoulders today. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit arms. I wanted to just
I do
like,
upper body more than lower body, if that's what you want
yeah,
me to
you don't
say.
have to
But
tell
I
us,
mean,
dog.
I
You look
don't.
upside down triangle.
I got the basketball player legs.
That's hilarious, bro. And speaking of that, as before we wrap up, do you have a favorite athlete? Who do you look up to the most?
Man.
LeBron James.
I mean, being from Ohio, like, obviously he's one of my favorite athletes, but like, I ain't gonna lie, there's also a lot of stuff that he does that frustrates me.
yeah.
But I'm still a fan. Like, being from Ohio, I'm real to him, but like, he does a lot of stuff that just like, when I watch him, just like, not even just playing wise, just like certain things. I ain't even gonna get into it.
Yeah.
But,
Mine's Michael Jordan, bro. I don't know how you can.
after watching The Last Dance, that is, I mean, he's up there. I'm just trying to think of someone right now, like
Maybe
like,
Danica Patrick for
game
you?
wise, like I like Klay Thompson and Devin Booker a lot, just because I like watching their games. But
Clay's not really that nice.
yeah, right. It's hard not to.
Dog,
John Morant, like,
I'm trying to get floor seats. I should get you come up here. The Grizzlies. I told you the
John
Grizzlies
Morant,
versus the Bulls, bro.
He's the man in Memphis for real. Like, I mean, yeah, he's got it going on, and he's young and he's tough. So yeah, that's definitely, he's like a maybe like an Allen Iverson type.
Yeah,
eventually.
like me.
Yeah, okay.
We got on the court. I'd hit a step over on you, crazy dog. Like in your
You
eye.
shoot with both hands, like you follow through with both hands.
That's
It's like
a lie. That's how we know
which
you
hand are
capping.
you?
We're about to go smash this Capitol Grill. That's what we're about to do. Is there anything else you wanted to get out?
Shit,
How
ask
far are
away.
we?
Like, what do you got? Any other questions?
I think I pulled a lot out of you. How
Like an hour 20.
hour and 20, hour and a half in.
If you got anything else, ask away. If not,
I think we got a lot out of you. Trying to think if there's anything else on my mind that I want to get out. Maybe a little bit of the future vision.
yeah.
Let's
so,
wrap up with your future vision. People should be able to pull success tips out of your stories and out of your life and overcoming adversity. So that pretty much explains itself. Books, all of that.
like, you
But your
talking
vision.
business wise?
Just your
Or just
vision for
life
life.
vision.
Your
So,
life
like,
vision. Where you want to be.
One,
What do you want to drive? Where do you want to live? What's the family look like?
I really like, being honest, where I want to live, like where I really want to settle down at, like when I've got all my family straight and like I know that everything's taken care of, I want to live in Phoenix because I'm a big golfer. And like me and my boys.
You're not any good.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
You're going to have to ask about that. But I can't say shit. Right?
I can't stand
Phoenix.
when he
I went
posts-
out there last December and like fell in love with the city.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's dry heat. The golf courses
The
are incredible.
church I go to out there, I'll connect you if you ever go out there. The pastor is actually the pastor for the Suns. Yeah, like he
That'd
goes.
be a good connection. Give me, yeah. So if I could live like, if you're asking anywhere Phoenix, but like vision business wise, you know, this upcoming year, 2022, like our vision as a team is to do 1.5 milli.
Yeah.
Like-
What about 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Like,
Truthfully, and this is where I, you know, some will say this is the wrong way to think. I personally feel like it's the right way for me. 30 and 20 year goals to me, I don't really have a money value, material value,
Yeah.
or even family thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to do the absolute best in any situation and be ready for any opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have shorter term and like
so
10
what
year
are
goals.
going to be your big vehicles? Is it this in real estate?
Dog,
Like,
I want a Rolls. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
like my life. Like, you know, when I get that, like
I'm in
that's
business vehicles, but car vehicles too.
Oh, I thought you was talking. I want,
meant,
yeah, like,
without putting a value on
yeah.
it. Of
So like
what are you gonna
insurance. So
blow
the
up?
insurance game. Obviously, I'm trying to like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm trying to get my residual. I mean, that's the reason I'm in the game is for the passive income.
Yeah.
So I can retire off of that at a certain point.
Yeah.
Allocate that finance towards many other things. Have all the time I want to spend with my family and friends. Like
Yeah.
that's my goal. So the insurance game, obviously, trying to blow that up. Dabbling in real estate right now.
Yeah.
Going to continue to do that. Invest, like doing that now. Going to continue to do that. And then, truthfully, outside of those three, I'd be lying if I said that I have like a definite plan for another business idea. I have a lot of good ideas, but I always say be ready for whatever. Like I always tell my team that.
Yeah.
Like that's always been like my saying, like be ready for whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like whatever comes my way, I want to be inward in the best position possible.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to be where I need to be mind, body, spirit wise. So when that opportunity comes, because for all I know, like in our industry, bro, like, I mean, just keeping it real, like we could probably quit what we're doing now and take our resumes of what we've done here sales wise and go get really other good positions. You know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
that we ever would. I'm just saying like if you can do what we do at a high level, you can do anything really.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to do with like being a doctor and saving someone's life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely.
But like, you know, who's to say 15, 20 years from now that a Fortune 500 company doesn't take notice as to what someone like in our position or someone has done and get a big CEO position or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to be ready for whatever. I want to be
Yeah.
in my best position. The three vehicles as far as the insurance game, the real estate, and then the investments, those are my main three that I'm hitting on.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be ready for anything that comes my way.
What's your
That's
favorite investment?
My boy Cody Stapleton.
Let's go.
I don't even ask a lot of questions.
Okay,
You
so
know,
he's
shout
more-
out my boy Cody.
He's
I'll-
market. He's not like crypto and
You know, he's a legit like series. He's got like the highest.
Yeah.
And he's a young cat.
Yeah.
And how I met him, we had classes together at Shawnee.
yeah.
And I cheated off
Let's go.
on every microeconomics, dog. I would have never got through that. Had it not
Shawnee
been
is
for
a
him.
school-
Shawnee State University.
And wasn't your friend's name Sean?
Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott. But you
Yeah.
called him Shawnee too, really?
Nah, we called him Boogie. Sean Boogie.
Okay.
That was his nickname. But so like, you know, I met Cody at Shawnee. He handles like all of my stuff. So shout out him if anybody
Yeah.
hears this, needs
Yes.
investing advice, whatever.
Yeah.
Go to him. You know, I'm not going to act like an expert on that.
Yeah.
But like,
Thank
you know,
you.
in business, bro, instead of trying to become an expert at everything, it's better just to pay people a little bit to handle it and stay in
Absolutely.
your strike zone.
Absolutely.
So he handles all that. But my favorite, I mean, like he's got it diversified. So I can't really,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
really like put it, but yeah, but the thing that like, you know, like starting early was key with that. Like,
Yeah.
cause I started investing like second month into the business.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't just start like last year. So like we're looking at almost 4 years worth of returns. And, you know, when you give someone your finances for 4 years and you know that if you stay consistent with it, you really, if you make a lot of money, you can do a lot with it. But even people that don't make that much money, you know, if you're making 30 to 60 grand a year, I don't think that you can do that. You know, you just got to
Yeah.
be more disciplined with budgeting your money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then just investing in my people, like that's my favorite investment right now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like, you know, we got a really good group of young talent that we've been investing a ton of time and money into and energy and love and everything. So like,
Yeah.
that's my favorite investment to answer your question.
Yeah.
Seeing the people grow. You know, even just like someone like Kyle, you know what I mean? Like Kyle Van Bibber, like
Yeah.
that's my like ace. You know, Kyle was working at Penn Stations making subs
Yeah.
when he first started with me.
Yeah.
That's how we got to talking is because when at my college, we were we always went to like Penn Station pregame and stuff.
You guys
which
matched
probably wasn't the best meal,
Yeah.
but like he would be like making our sandwiches and like he just DM me on Instagram. And we linked up, but
On
like if
Instagram?
you would have told me 10 years ago that Kyle Van Bibber was gonna be my right hand man in business, like
Yeah, like Sam Marzullo.
yeah, because Kyle went to my high school. He's 4 years younger than me. We
Oh,
just didn't
okay.
really know each other like
Yeah.
that. But it just like,
Then you guys matched on Tinder.
oh my god, we ain't like you and Rob. All right? But so, you know, Kyle's like, you know, that's like, you know, like if I had to say like my favorite investment is really just like seeing the people grow and grow and grow, and because like this upcoming year is like the type of year to win it, like just clicks, it can like really be something special.
Yeah.
So like that's what we're trying to work towards, and we're going to be adding talent.
Yeah.
You know, so if you know, shit, just to throw it out here, if you're young or old or in the middle, if you got energy and don't want to work a 9 to 5 and want to be given the tools to be successful, make 6 figures, holler at us.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, specifically, they can find you. Where can they find you? Like if they want that physical opportunity down in Memphis.
Yeah, just the easiest would be like Instagram at Conor Markins. You
at
just
Conor Markins.
DM me or whatever, or my people. Like,
Yep.
if you know, but like, you know, that's the vision. Just max out those 3 things.
Yep.
See where I go from there. And I know, because I'm not one of those person, like, because the way I look at it, if I just set like a definite goal 15, 20 years from now,
Yeah.
and at that point it's not something I want to do or
Yeah,
something like that, like,
Yeah.
or even thinking too small.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I think the way that I think the biggest is just by to attack each day and do the best I can. And then I
Yeah.
live with the results from there. It's
Yeah.
a different way of thinking. Some people like it different.
I like it. I like it.
You know, some people like to have definite, like I have certain things.
Yeah.
But I'm not like 20, 30 years, I'm not dead set on anything. I want to be
Yes.
the best I possibly can. 10
Yes.
years and 5 years, I do have
Yeah.
certain things. But 20 and 30, it's like, bro, like imagine where Simon's going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Simon's 36. That's what I'm saying. Like he's so bossed up already. Like literally, who's to say what he's going to be doing at 55?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he has goals, and like I would never speak. Like he's got 4,000 million trillion times more game than I do. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, even if he puts something on paper like 30 years, like he may be able to triple that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's
Yeah.
like if he just wakes up every day and does the exact best he can, like that's my view
Same.
of like just staying ready. You know
I was
what I mean?
never really good with the commits and goals because I always just was going to go out and do the most, as many reps as possible.
That's why, and that's how I like think. Truly is the better way of thinking it.
Like I do the affirmations and everything, but in my mind, I'm like,
Same, I do too.
I'm going to give this motherfucker everything.
everything, you know, and it takes everything.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
like that's kind of the vision. You know, just.
Well, is there anything else you want to shout out? We're about to head to dinner. 14 minutes.
Appreciate you having me on, dude. It's my first time, not first time like ever
Yeah.
in Chicago, but first time like, you know, linking up with people, getting to, you know, enjoy. About to go get a bite to eat, but I just appreciate you having me out here, man.
Appreciate
For real.
you, dude.
You're my guy. I have been since
Appreciate
day one.
you,
So
bro.
crazy ass.
This is like
Man,
one of
you
my
got
favorite
you
ones,
got
bro.
some dirt out of me on here, man. You
Absolutely, bro.
asked me some juicy shit.
Crazy, dude. I didn't even tell him about the ayahuasca you did with Sam.
That's a lie.
Oh, my bad.
That's a lie. Mom, grandma, if you listen, you ain't hear that.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
Grandma's everything. Oh,
Grandma
man.
hit me up at Tristan. No, I'm just
Yeah.
playing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, all love. We'll see you guys
Yeah.
on the next
All
episode of
love.
Adversity Kings. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Hit up A-Dog. He needs a girlfriend down here in DePaul.